What's up guys, it's Griffin. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 3 of this true crime series I'm doing. I still don't have a name for it and probably won't by the end of the series. If you guys have a name or an idea for a name for the February/Valentine's Day series that I'm going to be doing, leave a comment down below because I definitely want to try to do that and I want a fun name for it. So make sure to leave that down below. Without further ado, let's get into this case. This case is extremely terrifying to me. I don't know really what it is about it because there's no evidence really, but it's terrifying. Let's just get into it. Karlie Gusé was 16 years old, 5'7" at 115 pounds. She had blue eyes, brown hair going to her belly/mid-waist. Her stepmom assumes she left with light blue skinny jeans and a t-shirt, but she was last seen by witnesses wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants. Karlie's a regular teenager. She likes to hang out with her boyfriend, with her friends, go to work after school to make extra spending money, and she likes to dance. Lindsay Fairley and Zachary Gusé, Karlie's mother and father, divorced when Karlie was only 2 years old. Karlie went and lived with her mother for about 6 or 7 years and then moved to Bishop, California to live with her dad and her stepmother. Karlie's mother is constantly talking about how sweet Karlie is and how they were able to share everything with each other. And although there may have been distance between them, they were not far apart at all. They were actually extremely close to each other. Melissa, her stepmother, said she was a happy kid at the beginning of October and nothing seemed to change when the family had to move. Karlie lived in the home with her stepmother, her dad, and her 2 little brothers. They had recently moved, but nothing had really changed because Karlie was able to stay in the same school district. On October 12th, Karlie told her stepmother that she was going to a football game with a few friends. It turned out that Karlie had actually lied and she either went to a house party or just a kickback. It was a few people hanging out and decided to smoke marijuana with them. I don't want to screw up his name, so I'm going to read it off, but according to her boyfriend, Donald Arrowwood III, after a while she said she wasn't feeling well and she wanted to head home. Karlie called Melissa to pick her up around 8 a.m. and some reports say that when Melissa got to her, she was just running around the streets. She looked super pale and her pupils were extremely dilated. Karlie admitted to smoking weed right away and her friend admitted that's why she wanted to go home. They arrived home at around 9 p.m. Her father said as soon as she got home, she seemed super disoriented and was acting extremely paranoid. When asked initially by Nancy Grace how she was acting paranoid, he didn't really give answers, and then as soon as Nancy Grace gave him examples of possible answers, he all of a sudden had answers for her, but all of them were her examples, so I'm not really sure how accurate this is, but he said that she seemed nervous, that she seemed scared, that her phone was freaking her out, and that she didn't really want to be around her parents. But apparently the next minute she was saying she loved her parents and asking if she was okay or going to be okay. Her dad was wondering when she smoked if she had accidentally smoked something synthetic or if she tried LSD or something along those lines, but her boyfriend confirmed that she only smoked weed, which yes, it does freak people out, but it shouldn't freak her out to that degree. Finally, Karlie's parents got her to lay in bed and try to at least close her eyes, but she didn't want to. She wanted to paint her nails, she wanted to read the Bible, she just wanted to stay up, stay awake, and do holistic things. I mean, I've watched scary movies at night and afterwards I want to watch like Hannah Montana or something to kind of like even my mind out, so I get that if your mind's in like a scary place and you want to do things that are like reading the Bible or painting your nails or something like that to kind of clear your mind and reset. But her stepmom didn't want to do that, so Melissa started recording her because she thought Karlie sounded crazy and she wanted to show her in the morning what drugs could do to you. At one point in the 8-minute audio, Karlie says, "I really messed up today," and Melissa responded, "We all do things in life that we regret, drugs especially." So there are so many stories about this audio that I don't even know what's accurate. I don't know if this part that I'm about to tell you in particular is accurate whatsoever, but in one article it said, "A tearful Karlie thanks Melissa and says, 'I love you,' but when Melissa gives Karlie a salad, the teen blurts out, 'This is the devil's lettuce,'" which I find so strange. First of all, Melissa's trying to get Karlie to go to bed, so why in the world would she be trying to give her a salad right before she's trying to get her to go to bed? That just doesn't make sense, and this is while she's being recorded, so this is while she's in bed, and I'm just not sure what's going on here. None of this is adding up. It doesn't make sense. After that, Melissa urges Karlie to get some sleep, and still confused, she responds, "No, I don't want to go to sleep, you're going to kill me. Melissa then responds with, why would I kill you? That's preposterous. Which Karlie replies, I'm just thinking all this demonic stuff and I can't help it. And there's believed to be a little bit of a scuffle at the end of the recording, but then the recording ends and there's no extra audio. And people aren't sure if this was an altercation of some kind or not. The front door wasn't locked when they went to bed, but apparently that's kind of normal in their neighborhood, which I understand because for a long time living in Montana, we didn't really lock our doors growing up, so I get that, but this is also in an area of California that's a small town, so I understand the small town vibe, but still, I personally always lock my doors. There was also a dog that didn't bark at any point in the night, so they don't really think that anyone broke into the house to abduct her. But my opposing point to this is, if the dog recognized the person, would they be barking? There are again, a few different reports with this scenario. In multiple different interviews, Melissa has said she slept in the same bed as Karlie. She has said that she didn't sleep in the same bed as Karlie, but checked on her in the morning. And I think there is one other story where she slept in the bed, but woke up and then went to her room and continued to sleep in her bed and then checked on Karlie. So there's just a few different stories about this. But the next morning at around 5:45, Melissa woke up briefly and claims to have seen Karlie sleeping in bed. Whether she was laying next to her, whether she went in the room and checked on her, she claims to have seen her in bed at 5:45 a.m. Melissa then goes back to bed and wakes up at around 7:30 and discovers that Karlie is gone. Melissa went to her room and said to Zach, honey, she's not there, she's gone, she's not in her room, she's not outside, she's not in the backyard, she's not anywhere. Melissa and Zachary told Dateline that initially they thought that she just went on a walk, so they decided to get in their cars and were thinking that they were just gonna find her down the street from their home walking around. But they ended up driving around for about 2 hours and found no sign of Karlie whatsoever. They got back to their house at around 9:30 a.m. and the first thing they did when they got back was call Karlie's birth mother, Lindsay, to let her know that Karlie was missing. Karlie's boyfriend actually came over that morning as soon as he heard, and he thought he saw Karlie's phone on her nightstand. But when police got there, her phone was on the kitchen counter where her stepmother and her dad said she left it. But at this point, they had already gone through the phone. They could have gone through it and deleted stuff or gotten information that could have been helpful to the police and not told them. The thing that I don't like about this is they didn't wait for the police to look at the phone. They could have easily taken information off of it to hide any incriminating evidence towards them. Within hours, police are on the scene looking for Karlie, interviewing neighbors, and speaking to her family. Meanwhile, her birth mother, Lindsay, is driving all the way from Nevada to see if she can be of any help in the search for Karlie. Her mother arrived around 9 hours later, and at this point, authorities had already searched the home and concluded that all of Karlie's belongings were in the home, so they had no way of tracking her or no idea really what to look for. However, there were 3 witnesses that saw Karlie walking around that morning. The first witness is Richard Eddy, a retiree who used to work for the LAPD. At daybreak of October 13th, he was sipping coffee in his jacuzzi. At around 6:30 to 6:45, he saw a slender, tall female walking around looking up at the sky. And then 2 other witnesses reported seeing Karlie that morning in the vicinity of White Mountain Estates Road and Highway 6. Authorities searched for about a week and didn't actually want any volunteers to help because they didn't want anyone to mess up any possible evidence. So it was about 60 people searching for a week straight, and then they gave up because there was no evidence at all. And they just didn't have anything to go on or anywhere else to search. They used so many methods to search for Karlie, from helicopters to scent dogs to off-road vehicles, searching by foot, and even doing a thermal search from a helicopter. But nothing came about. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up? You guys are filming?
I am filming.
Are you right now?
Yes. Karlie took nothing with her when she left her home. No sunglasses, no sweaters, no cell phone, nothing. She was only wearing sneakers, a white t-shirt, and sweatpants, which is strange because the temperature was in the low 40s. The sheriff's office is treating this as a missing persons case and said on Facebook that there's no evidence of any abduction or any other crime, but Karlie's family suspects otherwise. So a few points from Lindsay, her birth mother, before we get into the theories. Lindsay said that Zach called her and said Karlie was gone. When she asked him to elaborate, he said she was at a party last night and now she's gone, which is really strange because obviously she came home after the party and spent time with both her mom and her dad. Her dad said she was acting paranoid and strange, but she came home and she spent time with them. So why didn't he just say she was acting weird last night and we can't find her? Like, it doesn't make sense. He then then fills her in a little bit, and she has now heard about 5 different stories from the stepmom and the dad, which she finds extremely strange because she can't seem to get a consistent story out of them. Lindsay also wants it to be very clear that her and Karlie were extremely close. It was a mutual decision between Zach and Lindsay for Karlie to move in with Zach and Melissa, and with her stepmother and her dad, she was able to attend a school where she felt comfortable and had plenty of friends, and actually ended up meeting her boyfriend. According to Lindsay, no DNA evidence was removed from the home until 3 days after Karlie had disappeared. In addition, not one single officer looked at her phone until 10 to 11 hours after she disappeared, and at that point, Zach and Melissa had already gone through it themselves. So now let's get into the theories. So at the beginning, when I was talking about her appearance, she is 5'7" and weighs about 110 to 115 pounds, which isn't a lot of weight. So some people believe that she was really skinny, she was having an eating disorder or mental health issues. Based on this theory, people think that she either ran away on her own and is still using drugs, or that someone took her and is keeping her against her will. The runaway theory I don't entirely think is possible just because she didn't really take anything with her. No money, no clothes, no glasses, no phone, nothing. So she would have needed to take at least something with her if she wanted to run away and start over. Also, the FBI joined into the case so quickly that I doubt they would be involved if they truly thought that it was just another runaway case. As far as the abduction theory goes, we don't really know much about this other than her parents don't think that she was abducted. They do think that foul play is involved, but they haven't really elaborated much on that. They don't think that she was abducted because they don't think that anyone entered their home at night. But if the dog recognized a person, like I said earlier, would the dog bark? And if they didn't bark, then how would they know? I mean, I guess Melissa said that she slept with Karlie in bed, but she also said that she didn't, so I just don't even know what to believe at this point. And the final and most popular theory, the theory that I actually believe, is that Melissa, her stepmother, had something to do with it. The first thing that even got me thinking this was in interviews, it sounded like the stepmom was feeding the dad answers. Like he couldn't come up with an answer for himself. He was slow to answer, like he was waiting on her to feed him some sort of information, and she was often talking over him, answering for him, and it just seemed super suspicious. So I started looking into this theory and I was in shock. Another weird red flag is that there's a lot of inconsistencies in the stories from Melissa. In one version, she was sleeping in her bed all night. In the next version, she wasn't sleeping in her bed at all. She was just checking on her. And then in the other version, she was sleeping in the bed for half the night. I just don't know which one it is. And apparently she doesn't either. Lindsay, the birth mother, I want to make sure I get all this info correctly, so I'm going to be reading it, told Nancy Grace that Melissa recorded Karlie that night, that she brought her home, and it appeared that there may have been some sort of scuffle. The recording ended before Lindsay could determine if it was truly an altercation or not. It left her feeling extremely weird and worried. I also got this one DM that I actually want to open really quick on camera because it was so strange and I wanted to read it to you guys. This girl messaged me telling me that I should look into the Karlie Gusé case, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually already looking into it. And she said, have you seen any of the live videos that the stepmom has posted yet? They've all been deleted, so I wasn't able to find them. She said I could try to screen record them for you. I think they've all since been deleted. She didn't ever seem too upset in any of them, and honestly, live videoing while your daughter is missing seems kind of weird, which I agree with. Other little things like she got her car detailed like 3 days after Karlie went missing, which I didn't see online, but that's just something to keep in mind. Apparently there was some kind of altercation that was recorded that night on Melissa's phone. The bio mom, Lindsay, started saying justice for Karlie instead of bring Karlie home, and the bio mom keeps leaving comments such as the truth will come out and stuff like that on the stepmother's post. And she also said herself that in the Nancy Grace interview, both parents, the stepmother and the father, seemed super fishy to her. This is the first time I've been able to include information from someone who lives by where this case occurred, so it was very interesting for me to get that DM, and I'm glad I could include it in this case. I'm not sure how much of it is true. If you guys can confirm or deny any of that, make sure to leave it in the comments below. There's also another story, and this is the last bit of this theory, that Melissa was looking for Karlie before Zach even woke up. And in that time, she could have hid the body or done something and then gone back and gotten Zach to go look with her. I don't really know what happened, but in my opinion, I think Melissa had had something to do with it. And it's really frustrating because in different news articles, she's complaining about being the center of the search. And it's like, shouldn't you just be glad that they're trying to find any opportunity to find Karlie? Even if you're the center of the search, if you know you didn't do anything, why does it bother you? Why complain about it? She said it's hurting her more, but like, she didn't seem that sad to begin with in these Facebook Live videos, as it seems. That's all the information regarding Karlie's case. It's super unfortunate. If you guys have any additional information, like I said, make sure to leave it down below. And if any of you guys are from this area, have any information that you can give to authorities, there is a $10,000 reward for any information leading to Karlie, and you can call the Mono County Sheriff's Office at 760-932-7549, option 7. If you guys have any information about this case or know anyone who lives in this area, please share this case with them, and please share any information you may have with authorities. Any information, no matter how big, no matter how small, is information that could help break the case open. So please, please, please share any information you have, share this video, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next true crime case. Bye.